This is Jabril, and welcome to the 10 most important minutes of your day. Once a week, I'm going to be bringing you an interview with the most powerful people on this planet. I mean, everyone from a 16-year-old with a black card to your favorite NBA player, to a stay-at-home mom who's now a multimillionaire, to CEOs of multi-million dollar, even billion-dollar companies. So go ahead right now and subscribe. Hit that yellow button so you don't miss any of these exclusive interviews. And enjoy the show. Hello world, this is Jabril, and welcome to the 10 most important minutes of your day. And this is Jabril from JabrilAgoro.com. And today I have a guy online who is, he's pretty cool. He was a licensed commercial pilot at 18 years old, self-made millionaire by the age of 21. You know, he's got his own book already published and more on the way. I mean, he's been on TVs, and actually one of my favorite TV shows, The Big Idea on CNBC. And Jordan, are you out there with me?
I'm here with you, Jabril.
Welcome, man, and thank you for taking some time out of your busy day here. And welcome to the 10 most important minutes of your day. And I'm just basically, people always see people hopping out of nice cars. Someone hops out of that Bentley GT and they're like, oh my God, he's so young. He's only 25. I'm like, what does that guy do? That's like the first question people, think of. And if so, what is it, Jordan, that you do for a living?
Well, I actually do a lot of things, but kind of during the day, I'm basically a hedge fund manager. Not the Wall Street kind, because they're getting a lot of bad press these days, but I'm essentially a private capital fund manager, and I find and procure transactions for private investors around the country to the tune of about $300 million or so.
Incredible. That is incredible, man. Well, congratulations. I mean, and then basically that runs kind of into my next question. I mean, what business transaction would you say to date are you most proud of?
Oh my God! You know what? I am. I think I'm proud of them all. I mean, some less than others. I've had great business transactions and I've had terrible business transactions, but I actually like them all because I learned from the bad ones, and of course the great ones always turn out awesome and they're all profitable. The one I'm most proud of, I would say putting together a private film fund that is with some of the most incredible people in Hollywood and some of the most incredible venture capital people in the technology space. I brought them all together and built a film finance fund for a couple of my very experienced and very good Hollywood producers. So that's, I think, probably my most proud, because I had nothing to do with that industry. I really fell into it because I had a friend of mine that happens to produce, and somehow, some way, I got all these people together and literally formed a company out of it.
I guess again, that sounds incredible, man. That sounds absolutely incredible. And I mean, people probably don't even know how old you are. I didn't say that. You actually, you're young right now. You're only 25 years old. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to put 25 years old. How did he do all this? I mean, and what was it? I mean, how did you get your start in the business world?
You know what? I actually started when I tell people in the media and I tell people, kind of in interviews and things, I say I got started about 12, 13 years old, selling Herbalife out of the front seat of, or out of the front basket of a bicycle that I had. And I'd run around the neighborhood and sell Herbalife. The truth is back when I was about 9, going on 10 years old, I actually started trading little trinkets that I had as a kid, and I didn't grow up wealthy. So I would kind of trade things through the recycler classified ads. And I don't know if any of the listeners know what that is, but it's basically, the cheap of the cheap kind of stuff where you can place free classified ads and kind of barter with people. And I actually started it, like I said, 9, 10 years old doing that. And then at 12, going on 13, I got into Herbalife, selling, vitamins and lotions and potions and all that. So I started very, very early. Right now, looking at that 13-year-old, entrepreneurial spirit to today, obviously I've gone a long ways, but it's about 13 years. So, a lot of people are out there going, oh my gosh, Jordan, you're so young, you did so much, so quick. the truth of it is that I'm literally 13 years in the making to where I am today. It has taken me a tremendous amount of time and a tremendous amount of effort, and I didn't fall into it. I didn't just, find the right person or get into the right circle. I have been working consistently for the last 13 years. So it can be done quick, and I think I did do it quick. I'm definitely young, 25 going on 26 here in a couple months, but I put my whole life into this. And growing up as a kid with, very little, monetarily, and I grew up in a house without carpet because we couldn't afford to put carpet back in the house. Being in those kinds of circumstances and just having that mental power to get out there and do it, you can do it in 13 years, you can do it in 5 years. I know guys that have done it in 2 years.
Wow. That's a great answer. And thank you. That was definitely a great explanation why you got started in business. I mean, and that's a great, definitely. And then I see here, I mean, commercial pilot at 18, that's definitely not normal. I mean, I know quite a few entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs doing quite well, but commercial pilot at 18, I mean, why'd you start flying?
Oh, man, I started flying because it was what I loved the most. I mean, I just absolutely, from the time I was 5 years old, and from the time I knew what an airplane was, or a helicopter was, and I looked up in the air and I saw something flying around, I knew, one day that's going to be me. I want to do that. That looks like a hell of a lot of fun. And so again, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, I used to plead with my mother to take me down to the local, municipal airport in Redlands, California. So every now and then she'd drive me down to, to this airport in Redlands, and we'd sit there and, literally look through a chain link fence at all the airplanes and people flying and airplanes taking off and landing. And one day, there was a guy out there who, kind of noticed that I was just, looking through the chain link fence and goes, "Hey, are you interested in airplanes?" "Yeah, I'm absolutely interested." He goes, "You want to go flying?" I go, "Hell yeah!" So I jumped in the back of an airplane, and my mom got in, and we took about a 15-minute flight, and it just I was absolutely hooked. So again, going back to my roots in starting that entrepreneurial spirit at 9, 10 years old, and through 13, everything that I poured into business-wise, everything that came out of it went either back into the business or into flying, right? Because flying is kind of an expensive thing. So I took my first flight lesson, I think when I was about 13 years old. I started really getting serious with flight lessons at 15, soloed on my 16th birthday, which is the youngest you can solo an airplane. Got my license on my 17th birthday, which is the youngest you can become a private pilot. And got my commercial pilot's license on my 18th birthday, which is the youngest that you can become a commercial pilot. So I worked, and it was a lot of studying and a lot of dedication and a lot of work. And, it was kind of a balance between flying, which I loved more than anything else in the world. It was so much fun. And business, which, created the, the financial wherewithal for me to be able to go do that. But I also love business. So I literally juggled the two. But keep in mind, I'm also 13 to, let's call it, 18 years old. I'm in high school, right? So I had to juggle those with school as well. And I ended up doing a little bit of home study to kind of help, adjust with my schedule of working 20-hour days between flying, business, and school.
Wow. So that basically answered my next question, how does flying and business relate? And then my next question is normally not a question people normally ask, but I would say, people normally ask, what's the best advice you've ever taken? What would you say is the worst advice you've ever taken?
Oh my gosh, worst advice I've ever taken. Don't worry, it'll be okay. That's the worst advice I've ever taken. And there were times I didn't worry. I thought it'd be okay, and thought the world would kind of align itself, and it would all be okay. And that's not true. You got to be out there, and you got to work hard for it, and you have to make sure things are going to be okay for yourself and for everybody else. So that's the worst advice.
Okay.
The best advice is shut up, kid, and listen. And I really, that was actually what I credit to me kind of maturing in business at a very young age is I listened